So I'm here with one of my clients, Dan. We're coming to the end of our 6 months working together. We're on a yacht today, so we thought, why not sit down and just have an informal chat about how that time's been and what your journey's been like. Appreciate you, man, first of all, coming on.
Always.
So we met in Cape Town a little over 6 months ago now for a hypnosis session. That's weird. That's a weird way to start a relationship. What were your first thoughts before when you first heard this guy's coming to do hypnosis? What were the first thoughts that went through your mind?
First thought that went through my mind, I'm not a spiritual guy, what I would say is one of the first things. So I'm pretty open to learning new things. And I remember seeing you come into the villa in Cape Town. And I was like, you your yellow glasses on, the Ibrahim glasses.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, who's this guy? What's he going to do? And then turns out you did a session with Milos. Milos was there. You did a session with him before, and then I found out we were doing a group session. And to be honest, I'm a pretty open guy, but I've never been first thing I thought was, I'm not a spiritual guy. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't imagine we'll get much from it. I'm happy to just lean in and see what happens.
Good open mind to have. And then, so we did the session. What was your reaction after doing this first session together?
Yeah, I mean, there's a video of the reaction, but it was a group session, and how it kind of what I didn't realize was what hypnosis was in the first as well. So you explained, this isn't about, making me fall to sleep as such. It was about removing limiting beliefs. So first off, context, went around the room. We said, what's on your mind? And for me, I used to always say, basically, my biggest fear is that I'm not fulfilling my full potential. So, that's what was in my mind at that point. We did the session. I came back around. Everyone's chatting about their experience. It comes to me, and I'm just sat there. I'm my hands are sweaty. My heart was racing. I remember literally saying it all to you. I was like, I'm a confident guy, but I feel nervous. My hands are sweaty, but I don't know why. My heart's racing. And then you were like, you're going for a big change. Just close back down again. Make sure I was safe, whatever. And then I came back around. And once I'd came back around the second time, I thought someone had put something in my drink. To be real with you, I got a notebook at the time. First thing I wrote down was my eyes feel wider. I am fulfilling my full potential on exactly where I need to be. And I just wrote all these things down. I literally have the notebook with it on, super squiggly lines. I just looked outside like this for so long whilst everyone was explaining their situation. And then I just got up, walked outside, lay down on the grass for 30 minutes. And my mind has never felt so clear. And so in that moment, because there was so much that was going on, I just felt clarity is what I can say. My eyes felt wider. If you've seen the film Limitless, in that moment, I thought I was this is what it's like, It was glistening. I remember literally looking. It's crazy because when I say it now, I'm oh, that's super, that's fake. It's trippy. And honestly, I was looking out the window, and it's probably see out in the video if you watch on YouTube. I'm just literally looking at the wind in the trees. I'm not that guy, And I just got up, walked outside, and lay on the ground for 30 minutes, realized now that I was just grounding myself again because I'd gone through such a change. Yeah, and it was just the most surreal experience. And the first thing, I think I messaged you that day being can we, later on when you left, I was can we please sort of call out or something, maybe a day or two later. There was a lot of emotions going from there, but I've just clarity. Even though I didn't know what it was about, but the bigger, in that moment, that whole moment was I'm fear of not fulfilling my full potential. It's that remove that I can't even pull it up sometimes. In that moment, I was why would I say that? Because by saying that, I'm literally telling myself I'm never fulfilling my full potential. And the first thing I wrote down was, I'm fulfilling my full potential. Crazy. And that was just the first session. And that was a group session, So I was super intrigued, and then that's why I messaged you.
Okay. So then when we started working together on a one-to-one basis, when you look back at this last 6 months, what were some of the most standout changes that you made in that process?
A few, the thing I want to put for context too is every session we did was whether I thought I needed it or not was an absolute quantum leap. It's not we were just changing one thing and it would just go a bit better. It was every session we had was something just came out of nowhere, boom, massive quantum leap. So for me, there was a few key points. The first one, that moment there where that fulfilled my full potential, just literally disappeared, in terms of that fear, as it were. So you think it was cool to say. Then there was a real big one about money. I used to always say, I can never have more than 10K in my account because I'll just spend it. And by default, I would just spend it if there was more than 10K in my account. But then we did a session and then we actually put the money into my account, the most to transfer myself ever. And I was actually, it's not having the 10K in my account because we removed that limiting beliefs. And actually, it was just, I didn't need to have that much money in my account. And I'm a real giver to my family, to friends. I realized that actually I like to put it in investments and elsewhere, but it means that I can have more than that and I won't spend it, Small thing, but made a big difference in my life. And then had a really big one around my business as well. and why I still run my property business and what I do it for, and mostly for family. My mum, my sister, the working relationship we had there, I used to struggle with that a lot. We totally reframed why I do everything I do. So there's a lot of personal stuff like that, but also like ultimately what I've realized is every single session we had, it was just one step closer to being more aligned. And now we obviously speak about alignment a lot, but it's like every single session we did was just one step closer to alignment. And that meant things just start to happen. When you realize you're on the right path, you know you're on the right path because things just start to open up for you. Like certain things fall into place without you realizing, you know. Just,
like what? Give examples.
For the money things, for example, like making money, for example, or meeting people. For me, it was like, I don't get time to reflect on how much money we're making now compared to what we were making because it feels so normal. We just skip past the 100K a month mark as if it was some crazy thing, you know. And I said to you, I want to get 10K followers, 17.5K, I think probably at 18 now. I went away from like thinking about small goals and they just kind of disappeared, you know what I mean? I surpassed them without even realizing. That's what I'm saying about when you're so aligned, you do things that you once thought were like these crazy stuff and you just do them without even thinking about it.
Do you remember on the way here when we were in the golf buggy to the yacht and I asked you, how much money have you made total this month? The reason I'm asking you this question, well, you'll say the amount of money in a minute, but the reason I'm asking you is because you actually have to think about it. You were like, how much money have I made this month? And then you said the amount, which was, if you're happy to share, like
$750,000.
$750,000 this month that he's made across his two businesses. And probably other stuff as well that we're not even getting into, with properties and all the other stuff that you do. But the point of that is you're not attached or chasing the money. Like, yeah, you have the monetary goals. Yeah. Like, they're important. You're driving towards them. But it was almost like you're so in the moment, so present and growing every single day that the money is just a byproduct.
Yeah, 100%.
So how's your relationship with money changed through this process?
On who I spend my money has changed massively. So I'm a giver. I used to say I'm a people pleaser. In reality, I just love giving to people. That's a recent one that's just like totally shifted my mind. So now when I say that, I'm not pleasing people I don't like anymore or that don't do me service. I just give to people that I love. And that was like something we worked on literally like the other day. We're just passing conversation in the car. And I just thought about it for ages. Done a conversation on the car before we went to the beach. We took a few things from that, you know, on the way to the breath work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Like we said about a few things then. And a few days later, I was like, hang on. I'm not a people pleaser. I'm just a giver, and I love to give to people that I love. And that was a big one for me, around money, because I don't know, I could drop 10K, 30K, not even think it's like penny. Do you know what I mean? It's really, I do it without realizing. This is the point. We've totally reframed what is the norm. You know, like when we're like, oh, what should we get? You know, where should we rent next month? Should we go Palm? I remember when we went to view the Palm, we were like, this is like a dream that you have, and it's like it's so easily to do. We could do it. You know, it's crazy how like achievable things are, and you don't, when you're so aligned, it all just starts to flow, and you're like, oh, hang on, what? You know what I mean? Is this real? You know? Has that just happened? And the same thing when I was like, I want to hit 100K a month, and this month in the education business particularly, and then they might hit 200K a month. It's like, oh, and then in my own business, I said to you, it was like, that got to half, that got the other business, $500,000 a month, without me even realizing, you know? And there's no doubt we won't hit $1 million a month in the next, 3 to 6 months through acquisitions and stuff. And it's all just happening without me feeling like I'm putting more in. If anything, I feel like I'm putting less work in. It feels less forced. All that comes back to just feeling so aligned, and what will be will be. But if you make these bigger changes and adjustments like we did, you can, you know, when you get the blockers out of the way, the beliefs out of the way, it all starts to open up, and you can kind of find your little path. But I've said to you, like, I've never felt so like the path is just laid out in front of me. Be a few bumps in the road. It's not always going to be easy. There's highs and lows, but it's there. I just I can see it. I just need to walk down it. After everything we've done together, that's been like overarching, but it all comes back to alignment. And again, I'm never a spiritual guy, but you know, I feel pretty. I'm definitely getting pretty spiritual.
I think you've opened up a lot.
Yeah,
last,
sure. But it's not about that. Like that's the thing. I thought as well to be in tune, you know, with like spiritual aspects. It's not like that. There's things holding you back that you know are holding you back, but you don't know what they are. Yeah. But subconsciously you know them. You just got to find them. And that's what you helped me with, you know, and that's why I pass on to other people and say, you know exactly what you need to do, but you aren't doing. And maybe you can't quite put your finger on exactly why you're not doing it. That's what you remove. Because as soon as you remove that, you start doing it, and it just opens up like crazy. Whether that's fear of judgment, fear of it not working out, a belief system that this isn't going to work because of this, or this person's going to say this. Once you remove those little things, you then do that thing, and whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, something comes from it. Your movement happens, or alignment happens from it. So like all that has just come from everything we've done together, you know? My whole belief system, like saying that, is from the work we've done, you know?
If you were to just look at a snapshot from Dan a little over 6 months ago to Dan now, and if you were to describe those two versions of Dan, how would you describe the main differences between them?
Yeah, that's hard. That's crazy. I want to preface this with there's so much work that I'm still doing, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's so much further to go, which is what so excites me about the whole thing. I can't even put into words like the difference. If I try and explain it, like when I first, like if I wanted to go, I could go really deep here, but like I probably won't go too deep, we get emotional, but like that guy thought he knew where he wanted to go and what he wanted to do. Thought he had the right people around him. He thought a lot of things, you know, but he was influenced a lot externally, and didn't know why. And I think when I really deep it, he didn't know why he was doing certain things. He was definitely running from facing up to like the real, stuff that was like going on deep inside, I'd say. Cause I definitely 2 months before I'd been through a lot. And I think like monetary wise, yeah, we're 10x, you know, like 10, 15x, crazy. Like in personal work, I'm so much happier. Like, so much more, like, it's ultimately, it's alignment. Like, happiness, I guess, is like a feeling. You can be sad in the app, but like, I'm so much more aligned, which makes life so much more enjoyable, you know? I see to other people now, it's like when your work becomes your life, when is it really work, you know? Yeah. I used to always think I had it all worked out, and I soon realized that guy did not have it work. He had a lot of external pressures. He didn't know why he was doing certain things. He would always say he wanted to do something to sound cool or say he was doing something to get appreciation of others, which would then make him feel good. Whereas now he just does it, you know? And like, it genuinely is a different person. And I know we speak a lot about how you talk about yourself and what you say to yourself, but that genuinely is a different person. Like, we're by, you know, like second to none, you know?
Last question for you. What would you say to anybody who is on the line? They know they need to make some changes. They know there's more. They're skeptical or maybe not as open to this kind of stuff. Maybe they've never done it before. What would you tell them from your experience?
Well, this was the biggest investment I ever made in myself. The most uncomfortable in terms of giving that, you know, amount of cost, but it was the most, like, hands down, the best investment I ever made in my life. And I get like goosebumps saying it because I can only bring the tears to my eye. I not imagine what life would have been like without this. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking, I've got shades on, I'm actually tearing up right now, bro. It's actually, I can't even, genuinely, bro, when I actually say, like, it's actually crazy, bro. If I didn't do this, like, I worried what I would have, like, I say I want to see a parallel universe, but bro, I can't even, and again, we haven't spotted this before, like, actually about how much of a change in my life it's been, but it's felt so normal, you know? Like, I honestly don't know what would have happened, like, without this. I don't know how life would have been. I can't even imagine it. But, like, it was the best decision I've made in my life. Everything that's come off back of that has just been absolutely perfect. Life's fantastic. Biggest investment I've made in myself. Best decision of my life. And anyone who is on the fence about it, I'm all for it. Like, I genuinely can't even put into words how much of a difference it made. I'm putting it into tears. That's all I can say. You know? But bro, no, I appreciate it massively. Like, without this, I don't know what life would have been like. I'm scared to think of what would have happened, you know? Because I was in like a way worse place than I thought as well. I think a lot of people are. They think they have got it all together, but realistically, nah, they haven't. The reason they're looking into it is because they're trying to find this exact solution. I was just fortunate enough to get a little glimpse of it, and I was in the right time to do it, and that little glimpse was enough for me to go, I'm all in. And ever since then, life's good, you know?
Life's fantastic.
Life is fantastic, and that is just, that's like mind blowing. Like, I can't even, put it into words, bro. I didn't think I'd cry on camera, but I did, so there you go. Like, bro, honestly, I appreciate you so much, man.
I love you, bro. Seriously, man. It genuinely, like, the level of fulfillment I receive from seeing your journey is, and I just truly, like, want the best for you as well. Like, in the depth of my soul, like, I want so much, and even so much more for you. Not just for you, but because of the type of person you are and the knock-on effects that you create in your life because of the type of person that you are. And that's why you deserve everything that you get, man. So I appreciate you, man. Well, it's been a blast.
This is just the start.
And it's just the start.
This is just the beginning.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Peace.